Street from a fire hall in Claymont, Delaware. And the expression is, God made man, then he made a few firefighters. You're all crazy, thank God. The only people who run into flames to help other people.
The report conducted in mid-July found that 79% of retiree correspondents said that prices on housing, food, and prescriptions are higher now than they were 1 year ago. And seniors generally spent about half of their income on housing, including maintenance, repairs, and insurance for even owning a home. The second thing that they're spending money on is groceries, with some goods prices higher than others, like wheat. Now, medical and prescription costs are also in the top three, since the CPIW does not even survey those 62 years and older. It doesn't even include the cost of Medicare Part B premiums. Inflation has an overall big impact on non-retired workers due to modest pay increases. Gas prices have also seen an increase, and as of Friday, the national gas average is $3.87. Recipients of Social Security and SSI can expect a new payment soon, because the payments are not always sent on the first of the month, as long as it doesn't fall on a weekend or holiday. The maximum SSI payment this year is $914. That's if both spouses are eligible for the program, you get $1,400. And while the average amount is $550, you can receive an additional amount if you live in one of the 33 states that boost benefits. The exact amount of boosted benefits varies by state. And New York offers an example of $104 a month for couples, while Alabama gives SSI recipients an extra $120 boost. During more to accelerate is actually going to permit for renewables and was a recurring theme among congressional Democrats in interviews over recent weeks. Democrat Ed Markey said he wanted to try again to secure funding for the proposed Civilian Climate Corps. That is a green jobs training and placement program that Joe Biden supported during his White House bid. Even Senate Democrat Brian Schwartz said that Congress needs to pay renewed attention to boosting funding for geothermal energy, and Senate Agriculture Chair Debbie Stabenow is urging colleagues to continue funding for a price on carbon dioxide pollution. It's something that lawmakers pushed for during last year's negotiations. And though Chuck Schumer has said that the Inflation Reduction Act would certainly meet its goals of reducing carbon emissions by 40%, the law doesn't achieve the emissions reduction goals necessary to prevent the worst effects of the climate crisis. Even Tina Smith, who championed a clean electricity program, said the program would be very valuable towards achieving our emissions goals for consumers. She noted that the program had a lot of Democratic support, but not enough. Advocates saw the clean electricity incentives as a centerpiece to meeting Biden's emission goals. Joe Manchin, with the Senate Energy Chair and fossil fuel advocate, provided the crucial role for the Inflation Reduction Act. He ultimately dealt those incentives with the final blow. But first of all, everybody, I think Joe Biden should get the job done and send out stimulus payments before it gets too late. Now, there's big news. The Federal Reserve is actually requiring more interest rate hikes in order to control the rising rate of inflation. Now, this is a way to control inflation, and this is a way to help people in America. But most Federal Reserve officials last month still regard high inflation as an ongoing threat, and that could require further interest rate increases. At the same time, the officials saw a number of tentative signs that inflation pressures could be abating. There was a mixed view that echoed Chair Jerome Powell's non-committal stance about future rate hikes. Now, everybody, it's Republican senators who are wanting to pass a bill to prevent Social Security from being increased. Senators like Bill Cassidy are worried that the White House will let him do this, and now Senator Cassidy is meeting with other lawmakers to improve his current plan on protecting Social Security benefits. If passed, Social Security's insolvency program would be solved, and benefits might be increased again. Now, some GOP senators are trying to lead an effort in Congress to protect Social Security, commonly referred to as the third rail of American politics. And Senator Bill Cassidy has told reporters that he is trying to prevent benefits from being cut as the program goes insolvent. Both the president and the former president are campaigning to protect Social Security, but not offering much of anything on how they plan to do it. Cassidy said that a cut in benefits could cause poverty among the elderly to nearly double. If Washington does nothing in about a decade, Social Security will start to run out of money. It's funded by workers' taxes and any surpluses or interest earnings in the trust fund. The program cannot borrow money on its behalf. So the only option once existing funds are exhausted would be a nearly 25% cut for all recipients on Social Security. It's not a win for anybody. It's unlikely Washington will let it get to that point, but Social Security is popular and economically crucial for most Americans. But few in positions of power are trying to actually come up with a fix to actually prevent it from happening. About 2 years ago, this bill already was created. He said, the Senator Bill Cassidy said, it occurred to me that we could address this by creating an investment fund. it would prevent a 24% decrease in benefits. Now, some independent senators like Angus King are already caucusing with Democrats to begin their pitch on this big idea to save Social Security. The pitch goes to prevent and invest $500 billion over 5 years in one of the independent investment funds separate from Social Security. Now, the government actually have to borrow money to pay for scheduled benefits, and the fund will be managed independently for Congress, with the intention of preventing future political interference. Now, Cassidy concedes his plan only partially solves the solvency program. It does not address the tougher questions about raising taxes or the retirement age, but he said at a minimum, it would not raise taxes on seniors or affect anyone close to retirement. Cassidy and his staff have been working with lawmakers to get feedback and make changes as they go. There was a short window where Cassidy thought Biden might engage on Social Security after the midterms, but so far Joe Biden hasn't done anything to announce his plan to help Social Security beneficiaries. But back in April, more than 66 million people took home a benefit check from Social Security. Now, 50 million of which were retired workers. Among these retirees, close to 90% rely on a monthly payout to cover some portion of their monthly expenses. Whether you're already retired or have just earned the workforce, surveys consistently show that most Americans will lean on their Social Security payout in some capacity during the golden years. In other words, maximizing what you'll receive from the Social Security program is important. All told, more than half a dozen elements can impact what you bring home monthly or to keep from the benefit checks. As an example, Social Security benefits became taxable above certain income thresholds. Additionally, a dozen states tax and Social Security payouts to some varying degree. But so far, when whittled down to the basics, 4 components are ultimately responsible for determining Social Security. It's your work history and, of course, your retirement age. Folks, we got 10 news about the 4th stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI and SSDI. Now, there's a ton of information that you guys definitely want to know about this. Continue watching. We have a lot of information about this.
Per month. This is, it's never happened before. And look, history's been made here. But it comes alongside the largest drop in unemployment rate in a single year on record.
The Senate in history of the United States has been amazingly and extraordinarily productive. 20 months into the Democratic majority, I just want to take a moment to highlight the many, many accomplishments we have secured in this chamber under Democratic leadership. It's the most in recent memory. The American Rescue Plan, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, the CHIPS and Science Act, the Gun Safety Bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, an omnibus package, and many other bills in between. Senate Democrats have worked hard every step of the way to improve the lives of American people, to help those in the middle class stay there, to help